A new video was just released showing Donald Trump sweating profusely and panting for breath during a humiliating golf rant, and it really raises questions about Trump's physical health. Now we'll take a look at that rant in a second, but first I wanted to touch on an interview that Trump did yesterday with Dr. Phil that really brings his mental health and ability to be president into question. So take a look at the craziest moments from that interview.
We need everything. Everything is broken now. I rebuilt the military. They left $85 billion of it in Afghanistan. If Jesus came down and was the vote counter, I would win California, okay? In other words, if we had an honest vote counter, a really honest vote counter, I do great with the Hispanics, great. I mean, at a level that no Republican's ever done. Democracy. No, they're a threat. They've weaponized government. They're a threat. But that turned to be like one of their lines, you know, that Trump is a threat. I'm not a threat to democracy at all. They are a threat to democracy, but they would say that. That was standard line. Just keep saying it.
Is there a purpose?
Well,
is there a reason you think you were spared?
I mean, the only thing I can think is that God loves our country and he thinks we're going to bring our country back. He wants to bring it back. It's so bad right now what's happening when you look at the crime, the horrible things that are happening inside our country, and it can be solved. It can be solved fairly quickly. It has to be God. I look at California. I gave a speech. I had a crowd so big. I said, there's no way I could lose California, but automatically they mark it down if you're a Republican as a loss, that you lose by 5 million votes. I said, 5 million votes? I guarantee. They have all sorts of nice contraptions, but they don't have wind is fine, but it kills the birds, it destroys the fields. Destroys the fields, what it does. You know how economists and various, they go over it. Wind is the most expensive energy in the world, and the environmentalists love it. Why do they love it? It kills all the birds. Walk to the bottom of a windmill and take a look. It looks like a bird cemetery. But if we had an honest vote counter, I would win California.
You think so?
Oh, I think so. I do. I see it. I go around California. They have Trump signs all over the place. It's a very dishonest. Everything is mail-in. They send out 38 million ballots. I think it is around 38 million ballots. They send them. But everybody in the day, it was a standard line for them. Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. I'm just the opposite. I'm the one that fixed our military. I'm the one that knocked out ISIS. I did so much. I also took a bullet. But maybe that bullet is because of their rhetoric. You know, it's really nasty rhetoric.
It's so insane how delusional Donald Trump is at this point. But now that we've seen just how mentally unfit he is, let's see how his humiliating golf rant raises the question as to if he is physically fit. Take a look at this clip.
The golf match and...
Well, I said I'll do it. I offered him $1 million. He said he's a 6.
Yeah.
I said, you're not a 60. He's not a 60.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll give you $1 million if you can break 100. I said, here. Yeah. I said $1 million if you can break 100.
There's just so much to unpack here in this clip. First, Trump is very clearly sweating and is out of breath, which I don't know about you, but golf isn't exactly the kind of sport that is supposed to get you sweating. You ride on your golf cart to the ball, you get up and swing the club and hit the ball, and then you get back onto your golf cart. So not much physical moving at all. So the fact that that level of physical activity is enough to get Trump out of breath should be a very good indicator as to how bad his physical health is. Next, why does he have a caddy there to wipe sweat off of his face? That is just super weird, and I don't think anyone has ever had a caddy there to wipe sweat off of their face. The first time I watched it, I had to do a double take because I just could not believe that it was real. And I also wanted to mention how he is still talking about Joe Biden. He cannot get the fact out of his head that Joe Biden is better than him in pretty much every way. And you can tell that just based on the way that he talks about it and how he constantly is bringing up Joe Biden. And the fact that Joe Biden lives rent-free in his mind is just so funny to me. Finally, to end off this video, I wanted to go through some replies to this video on Twitter because people are roasting him so hard for the entire video. Why does a guy who drives a cart up right next to a ball sweat like he ran a marathon? Is it the syphilis? Poor guy. Someone's really got to tell him Biden's never coming back. Who the F has a caddy on the golf course help them wipe sweat off of their cheek? Did he forget he's no longer running against Biden? This guy probably has dementia. He's low energy and tired. This is punishment. An employee to wipe the sweat off his brow? Living such a difficult life, Trump relates so well to everyday Americans. What kind of little baby gets so out of breath and sweaty after placing a little wooden stick in the ground that he needs a doting diaper caddy to wipe his squishy joel for him? Is this MAGA's notion of masculinity? The fittest president ever? This is weird. So overall, this clearly shows just how physically unfit Donald Trump is for office. And this should really be a wake-up call to anyone who thinks that Trump is the pinnacle of masculinity, because is someone who has to have a caddy there to wipe sweat off of his face really the pinnacle of masculinity? I don't really think so.